Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of awakentheinnerlight.com and coffeewiththeangels.com. So, just so you know, Awaken the Inner Light is the main website. Coffee with the Angels is the blog URL. So, just to be clear on that. So, today is April 23rd, 2018, and it has been 2 weeks since I posted a video. So, if you go to Coffee with the Angels, you'll see messages from the angels, but for the last 2 weeks, there's no videos to go with them. It's been a very intense last couple of weeks, and I'm finally coherent again. So I was a bit incoherent for a while, and that's why there's no videos. And so it feels a little bit like I'm starting over again, and kind of am. So, but anyway, today, Coffee with the Angels is about bridging the gap. And it does come inspired from an article that was sent to me actually last night by a friend. And the article there is Bridge Building in the Age of Disclosure, an Appeal to the Awakening Community by Cosmic Composure. And there are links in here. So either in the description or the comments or and in the blog post itself for Coffee with the Angels, at the bottom, you'll find a full list of links. So you'll be able to find it there as well. And so this really is an important thing. And it's so interesting because the friend of mine who sent this to me, I remember having a conversation with her, I don't know, at least a year ago. It's been at least a year ago, maybe longer than that. I want to say more like a year and a half, but it might have been just a year ago. About, we were talking 3D, 5D, transition, the ascension, different types of things like that. And I told her, I'm like, I feel like I'm standing on the bridge. Like at the edge, at the 5D end, kind of like calling people over. And she said, I feel like I'm standing on the bridge, shining a flashlight to show the way, or something like that. So neither of those is a direct quote. But that was the concept. And then for this article to show up, I find this kind of stuff really cool. So this is the kind of thing that just trips my trigger. These are the kinds of things I love to talk about because it is a synchronicity, yet it's more than that at the same time. But anyway, I do recommend that you go and check out the Cosmic Composure link as well. So we're going to go on with what the angels have had to say for today. And our title is Remember, Bridge the Gap. And the angels say, bridging the gap between the old way of being and the new is a great challenge. You who have chosen this path, remember who you really are and why you are here doing what you are doing. Remember your infinite being and resources. You are building the bridge away from the old mentality of lack and limitation, yet you still feel the sting of it. You know the realm of infinite abundance is your birthright. You know it is available and accessible, yet it feels distant. You are in good company. Many of you are facing the same frustrations. You are also creating the space of change. The diversity in how that is happening is vast, and it needs to be. Humanity requires a multifaceted, multi-pronged approach to make changes such as this. Look for the likenesses in the varying approaches. Look for the truth in old teachings. When you do so, the truth becomes clearer and stronger. It is vital that you remove yourself, your thoughts, feelings, and programs from preconceived notions and judgment of self and others. You are all learning a new way of being on earth in your human form. There is learning, progress, error, blind spots, forward movement and growth, as well as contraction and back steps. Treat it as a dance you are learning with a partner who is also learning. Sometimes you lead and teach, sometimes you follow and learn. As in dance, toes get stepped on occasionally. Be generous in forgiveness and keep moving. Remember, you are bridging the gap between the old and new. You are learning and teaching. Be kind to yourself and others. And so that is what the angels had to say for today. And my mind just goes so fast with all of these different things, and like different references and dots being connected for me. And so I will attempt to maybe connect a few dots, or at least share things that I see happening here. So first of all, talking about, we feel the sting of that old paradigm of lack and limitation. And we feel that when we go, I really want to take this class, but my bank account doesn't have the money for it. That's probably the most frequent thing we see. It has to do with money. And it sucks. Yet, we also know that we have this vast, infinite abundance available to us. It's just not showing up in the physical world exactly the way we want it to, or the way we want things to be. And that can be frustrating. Or it's not that it's not showing up, it's not showing up in a way that we are used to seeing. Let's put it that way. So things can be showing up and we might not even notice them. And in hindsight, we may go, oh, there was an opportunity and I didn't even see it. And that's okay, because we are learning. We were born, most of us were born into that old, as the cosmic, I want to say cosmic consciousness, but that's not what it is. Cosmic Composure article talks about is that we were born into the conventional way of being, which is not understanding that expansive big piece. That is, that there are limitations, that there are limited resources, and that there's only so much to go around. We were really born into that. Yet we were also born with the knowing of infinite abundance, infinite possibility. And so we are now in this space between, we have the knowing of the infinite and we have that prior experience of the lack. And so, well, the limitation, let's say it's more of a limitation than lack, but it's still, we are right here in the middle and we are trying to figure out how to get this infinite abundance and that expansive part in our day-to-day life. And most of us, at least for me, and what it seems to be, we feel it. We feel it energetically. We feel it. We know it's there. Sometimes it shows up in our day-to-day reality, in our day-to-day things. You know, we'll manifest something, and it's like, oh, there it is. That's awesome. But it's not yet really to where we have instant manifestation all the time in that abundant space. And so we're still learning. We're still learning how to do that, being incarnated here on Earth in human form. And so, yes, it can be frustrating, and you are not alone. So know that. There's another piece here, the diversity. And I've been guilty of doing this myself. This idea of, well, this is what I've learned, and I see how it's so different from that. And I had that air of it's better. And For some things, they are better for me. That doesn't mean that the modality or technique is better. Yes, there are times I still see people, and I'm going to say this, and I mean this with love, and I recognize that people are where they are, and this is just one of those things that frustrates me. This is part of my frustration. I see people who are they're doing magical things. They are doing energy work and ignoring, or sometimes not knowing. I have much more space for people who don't know that the subconscious and the belief and the programs are running the show so often, and that is where we really make the greatest changes in our belief systems and our subconscious. Those are the things that are the most important to change, and I know this and I recognize this. But when I have interacted with people and they flat out ignore me and they continue to have the same problems, there comes a point where I no longer have sympathy. I just don't. Because I have a tool that I can help you move past that block or limitation with, and you don't want to hear it, okay, fine. I don't want to hear you complaining anymore either, because that becomes toxic for me at some point. I mean, it's okay to cut out toxic people from your life, and you can love them from afar, because there's a lot of people I just don't connect with anymore, and I love them dearly, and I really miss them. And at the same time, it drives me crazy to hear and see the same patterns in place with little movement. So this is one of the things I'm personally working on, coming out of that space of I want to be sure that I'm not being in judgment, and that I can really see things for where they are and be open to all progress, because that is important. Every single step forward matters. Every tiny bit of vibration increase and frequency increase and raising, it all matters. It matters so much. And I do honor that, and at least I make an attempt to. So if you are recognizing and seeing that you have the same pattern playing over and over and over and over again, and you can't seem to get out of it, there's just something else at play that's holding it in, that's holding it there. It's there's beliefs, there's programs, there could be past obligations, oaths, or vows, or something. And you know what? You might clear some of it, and the pattern shifts, but the pattern is still there. You know what? It's progress, and it is a dance, and that's okay, as long as you're making forward movement. And we're coming around to something that I've, hang on, let me send her back up. Okay. I shared something in here, and there is a fear, because I do struggle with people who seem to ignore the information that I have to share. It doesn't mean they don't need to hire me. They don't have to learn from me. They don't have to do all of this. But there does come a point where I have had people get upset with me because I'm like, I don't want to hear it anymore. And I struggle with that. So I'm feeling very vulnerable and really raw on that. So clearly more of my own work to do. So on we go. Look for the likenesses in the varying approaches. Look for the truth in old teachings. When you do so, the truth becomes clearer and stronger. So I see this as understanding and recognizing, like, teachings of Christ and teachings of Buddha and how they align and line up. The same concepts are being taught, just in very different language. And so let's look for more of that. Let's look for where things do work. Let's look for where pulling that energy out is beneficial. And yes, there may be more to do. Because if you've got a belief or something up under there, the energy is just going to fill back in. And it might fill in with something, with like the next step better. It's not enough to break the pattern. It'll take a while for that pattern to break or shift. But everybody has to do things the way they do them and how they've chosen to do them. Okay. So we're getting around to what Brené Brown has called the scofflaws and the sewer rats. So it is vital that you remove your self, thoughts, feelings, and programs from preconceived notions and judgment of self and others. And in her book, Rising Strong, which is right here on my bookshelf. I love this book. I have listened to the audiobook twice, but she tells a story in here about the scofflaws and the sewer rats. And basically, if we look at the world and look at people with judgment, and we're judging particular things, eventually you will see yourself through those lenses. Eventually, when you're talking with someone or you hear something, you will be the scofflaw or you will be the sewer rat. And in her case with the story, she goes something to the effect of, oh my God, here I am her sewer rat. And she was doing the best she could. Because that's the context. The context is, do you really believe that people are doing the best they can? And excellent book. I highly recommend her work. So it is really important to be gentle and kind with yourself and with others, because we are all in this dance of life. We are all in this growing. And if you are one of the bridge builders, if this resonates with you and you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you are awake and you are aware and you are going, that old way really sucks and this new way is awesome, where the hell is it? This is where we are. And doing your best in each moment is enough. It is enough. You may fall, you may step back, you may be in this huge thing that you're just going through and you're making tons of progress, and then you hit something and you're like, crap, I don't know what to do with that. And you come back out of that. It's like you come out and you take a breather and you read books or you numb out with TV or you something, whatever, however that works. That's fine. Just go back in. Go back in where it was hard. It's okay to take a break from that, but go back in where it was hard. And journaling is a really great way. Anything that is creative, anything that will help you kind of give your mind the space it needs to process, and give your body that space to allow that intuition and that knowing to flow, because you have it. It's just a matter of allowing yourself to access it and for it to flow. So you know what? And you are going to step on toes, and other people are going to step on your toes occasionally. You know what? It's okay. We are all learning to dance. We are all learning this dance. And in the end, we are never broken. In the end, we all learn and grow from these experiences. And the faster and better we can be at staying out of judgment and out of criticalness, and being able to find and that there is a fine line between making a choice based on an experience you've had and something that you can see that just doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon, versus a judgment without knowing, without enough information. Those are two different things, and there is a very fine line between them, because it's okay for you to walk away from something that has been abusive. It's okay for you to shut down people when they are being abusive to you. It's okay for you to walk away. Physically, mentally, emotionally, it's okay for you to create that distance because you have to take care of yourself. It's okay for you to shut down that connection between people who suck you dry and yourself. So take care of you. Make sure that your well is full. Make sure that you are filled with as much love and kindness and grace as you can, because when you do that, how you interact with the world will be better. How you handle things when you come up on those things that are really hard is better. It's not always easy, but it's easier. So I'm going to post this video. This is the fourth take on this video for today. It has been 2 weeks since I've done a video, so forgive me for the length and for any rambling, and I do feel a bit vulnerable on this one, but it's going up anyway, and eventually I'll watch it. Not right away, though, because if I watch this, I'm not going to post it. So I'm going to post it, and then later I'll go back and watch it. But anyway, I hope that you have found value in this and know that you're not alone. We really are building the bridge between the old way and the new way of being, the old way of lack and limitation, and that knowing that we have that expansiveness we feel of that infinite abundance and infinite resources that we know is there. We are learning how to access that and have it be in our physicality, in our reality of human life on earth. And we just are not fully there yet. We have some experiences of it, but it is not yet in that space of instant manifestation all the time and instant love for everything. We can love everything universally and everyone universally. And this is one of those sticky points because it's a matter of, a lot of people do. A lot of people really do love people in that big universal way. It's easy to love somebody because they're a human being as a human being. It's another to love them intimately because you just may have nothing in common. That's okay. We are still learning how to do this, and I don't know what it's going to look like any more than you do. I really don't. All I know is that if I stay centered as best I can and make choices and decisions with divine guidance in alignment with what my heart and soul call me to do, it's better. It's not always easy, but it's better. And the next step is then given. And so I encourage you to do the same. Be centered and take the next steps in your life, in every area of your life, from that place of centeredness and of unconditional love to the best of your ability. And some days you'll be really good at it, and some days maybe not so much. You know what? It's okay, because This is a dance. This is life. And you got this. And so do I. So I hope you have a fantastic day. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.